I've been seeing a lot more fun tag videos on YouTube recently, so I decided for today's video that I would be doing the quick-fire fantasy tag. So hello my fellow fantasy book lovers and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi and welcome. My name is Kathy, I'm a goth girl from Belgium and I love to read fantasy books. For today's video I'm going to do the quick-fire fantasy tag so you get to know me a little bit better. The way this tag works is that you get a few prompts, and for each prompt you have to associate a book or multiple books with it. And the first one is a 5-star book. And the first one that comes to mind obviously is Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned. You can see my beautiful special editions on display here. This book changed reading again for me. It's one of the books that made me want to read again. If you don't know it yet, J. Kristoff has written Empire of the Vampire already, and Empire of the Damned is the second book in what is going to be a trilogy. The third book, he recently announced on Instagram that he's done actually writing it, so I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be released, but I am super excited for it. Empire of the Vampire is written in an interview style, so it's basically an interview with the offspring of a vampire, because the main character is what they call a Silver Saint. He's called Gabriel de Leon, and he's actually the offspring of a vampire and a human woman, and he is kind of vampire-ish. He has some of the traits, but he refuses to actually go full-on vampire and feed off humans. So in the first book we follow along how Days Dead, so the end of the Days with Sunshine, happened and how the world building went to what it is now. So it's very dark, it's very doom and gloom, but what I love most about this book is that it's written in the interview style and that the main character Gabriel de Leon is very direct and also has very dark humor, which I absolutely love. There's a lot of references in this book. There's even playlists with metal songs associated to these books that J. Kristoff, so the author himself, made. So for me, these books are always a 5-star read. They have not disappointed me so far. There's also the Nevernight trilogy by J. Kristoff that I really loved, which is also a 5-star read for me. But if you have to remember one book, let it be Empire of the Vampire. Up next, always going to recommend. Well, it depends what type of reader you are, because Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned is one of my 5-star reads that I cannot stop talking about, and is also therefore a book that I will always recommend to people if they're into vampires. Now, if you're getting back into reading fantasy, I think Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust is a super good starting point, because it has those epic vibes, but it's not too intense, and I just really enjoyed those books. And sometimes people also just want a short and sweet standalone, and then I either recommend them Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher or When Among Crows, because I think both of them are really good books. They're completely standalone and they really tell a story from start to finish in their one book, which is a good thing because we don't always want to invest into series. Own it, but haven't read it. Well, there's a lot, because I currently have, I think, around 150 books on my physical TBR, which is the bookcase in my living room. Some of the books that I really want to read are the Leigh Bardugo books. I recently bought a new Leigh Bardugo book from a new series that they're writing. I also have the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I have the other Wolf series by them, so I have a lot of books by Leigh Bardugo, and unfortunately to this day I haven't read a single one yet. Same with Holly Black. I own at least 3 Holly Black books at this point, haven't read a single one of them. Strange the Dreamer and then Muse of Nightmares, I think the second book is called, I also physically own. They're very high on my TBR list, but somehow I haven't gotten to them yet. Same for the Vampiria series by Victor Dixon. I basically have a lot of books that I still want to read. Would read again? This is a difficult but also not difficult question. I don't tend to reread books on a yearly basis, but right now I'm actually looking into rereading the entire revised The Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon, because she has revised them. I also want to reread Lost Souls by Poppy Z. Bride, because it's been a few years since I read the French version, so I was 17 and I'm not gonna tell you how long ago that was, but I now recently recently got an English copy, and also Stardust by Neil Gaiman I want to reread pretty soon, and Neverwhere, of course, by Neil Gaiman. So those are 4 books that I would want to reread pretty soon. At some point, I know I will reread Empire of the Vampire as well, but it's not on my priority list right now, and I prefer to generally focus on new books than rereading books. In another world. A world that I am really enjoying is the world of Serpent and the Wings of Night and the other books of the Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent. It is a world building with different types of vampires. It has magic in it. It feels a little bit like Earth without actually being Earth. I personally just think it's a really interesting universe, but I also feel it's not too far away from our world. Another book that I've read recently was the Book of Azrael, and even though the book itself wasn't high on my score list, I did enjoy the different realms connecting to each other and the possibilities that creates. And same goes for the Court of Dragons N series by G. Bailey. You have Earth, and then you have different other realms that are connected to Earth. It's like the world where the dragon shifters are. There's another one that has werewolf shifters, etc. So I know she has book series about each of those realms that are a little bit interconnected between them, and I personally really enjoyed that aspect of the world building she did. And then finally, back on Earth. And for this, I actually also want to venture into what is Earth and what not. I really, really enjoyed the Emily Wilde series. And in Emily Wilde, you have Earth as we know it, and she actually ventures into places on Earth to figure out which fairies live there, how they live, etc. And I really love that concept of having a world connected to Earth. It's also a little bit like the previous ones where you have different realms, but here it's just the fairy realm that is connected to Earth, and it has portals going in and out of it. So in book 1, Emily Wilde and the Encyclopedia of Fairies, you already encounter this fairy realm, and then in the second book, Map of the Other Lands, you really get to explore it even more. So it goes without saying that I'm very excited for the 3rd book coming out early next year. So these were all the prompts for this tag video. I will be leaving, of course, the tag information in the description box of this video. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week and I would love to have you for every single one of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!